So today we have with us Kate Morgan from Morgan Publicity.
Hi.
And let me just give you a brief background of Kate Morgan. Powerhouse in the world of public relations and brand strategy, originally from the UK, amazing. Kate has carved out an impressive career that spans journalism and publicity. As the founder and owner of Morgan Publicity, she's become a go-to expert for both emerging and established brands in the fashion, beauty, wellness, and lifestyle sectors. Wow, what a like big group that you have.
Thank
with,
you. Yeah,
with
we're busy.
a with a global reach and offices in LA, New York, and London, Kate has built a reputation for developing creative, strategic campaigns that capture attention and drive results. Her journey from writing for top magazines to launching her own successful PR agency is a testament to her adaptability, vision, and deep understanding of the media landscape. So let's welcome Kate Morgan to Meet the Mogul.
Hi. I'm so happy to be chatting with you. You know, I'm a huge, huge fan of Business Mogul and everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're going to talk about you today.
Okay.
Usually you're the one, pitching your clients, talking about them, telling their stories. I want you to tell your story today.
All right, you got it.
So my first question,
Hear me.
can you tell us about your journey from the UK to founding Morgan Publicity in the US?
Yes. So I did start off on the journalism side. So I did an abundance of back in the day unpaid internships, which you're not allowed to do now, but I did several of them, was going into debt just to go to work. But I was feisty and a hustler back in the day. Um, and I really appreciated just any opportunity to get my foot in the door. And I was happy to do anything. Like one of my internships was at a men's magazine called FHM. I don't know if you remember that, but very much ladies in their underwear. But it was owned by Bauer Media. So I was like, I just want to get Bauer on my resume, which is a big publishing house. And I would just be in a fashion closet for 8 hours, just lining up bra sizes. And I would just do anything because I was hungry to build up a resume where I could just put them powerhouse brands on it. So I did that until I was at a magazine and I was meeting with a PR. And that's kind of how my switch happened. And she was like, I think you'd be really good if you were on this side rather than the journalism. Can I offer you an internship? Just like try it out. So I was like, okay, why not? So I did it, loved it. And then that internship turned into a full-time role. And then I ended up being headhunted by Shiseido Brands, which is a company that owns Bare Minerals, Laura Mercier, Buxom Cosmetics. They're like some great powerhouse beauty brands. And that kind of really sort of catapulted me to like kind of real key European status in the beauty PR landscape. And I loved it there. I worked in Soho Square, which was kind of like the epicenter of so much coolness. And I just had a great, great time. But I ended up a few years into my journey there because I'm European, they let you take sabbaticals. Work-life balance is encouraged. And I took a sabbatical to the US and I was off for 3 months. And I just met with a few PR firms here, just on a friendly basis. And I took a meeting with a firm, and they were like, "Oh my God, if you were to move here, I'd hire you on the spot." So I was like, "Do I want to leave London? I love London." And I was like, "You know what? Screw it. You live once." So I didn't want to be hired by her due to sort of visa situations. I wanted to own my visa because I didn't want someone to own me. So if I didn't like it, I had control of where I could be and no one could dangle that over me. So she
I
was like,
love that.
really? Everyone wants us to pay for their visa. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. So I hired my own immigration lawyer and she was like, you're nuts. Did it anyway. Got all my sort of legal paperwork so I could live and work here. And then that was the best decision I could have made because after a year of working for that company, I learned a lot, but I was very, very burned out. And that kind of catapulted me into launching Morgan Publicity, which I actually dubbed the accidental PR firm because I was so burned out from that agency, on the hamster wheel, like the hours I was putting in, just like an extensive workload, for someone else, to fill someone else's pockets. And I was like, you know what? I just want to have a couple of clients so I can keep the lights on and we'll figure it out. So I took on, I think, two or three brands. And then I was like, I'm just going to cruise for a little bit. But then they kept recommending business and they were happy with what I was doing. I was like, well, damn, I guess I started my own PR firm. And that's how it happened.
Oh, wow. You definitely had an aha moment when you created the company. I love it.
Yeah, so it's been over a decade now. We are
Oh,
growing super strong. I'm so proud actually of where it's taken. We've represented some of the biggest legacy brands in the sort of beauty, health, and wellness space through to startups or companies with great ideas where, I've signed an NDA and they're like, we think we could do this. And we've taken them on this path where, they are top of their game now. And a large part of that, which they have, given us testimonies, is because of the PR and marketing support they receive from Morgan Publicity. So super proud of my baby.
yes, it's definitely have grown and I love it. I'm glad to be able to have seen it grow for the past, 3, 4 years. We've been in contact with each
Yeah,
other. So I'm definitely proud of you.
thank you. That
All
means the
right.
world.
So how has your background in journalism influenced your approach to publicity and the whole PR industry?
Um, that's a great question. I think sort of the power of the written word is really important. So if we're writing a pitch, just trying to see it through the lens of how a journalist would want to receive it. Like sometimes if a client gives their recommendations, it can be very wordy. And I'm like, I need to chop this up extensively because journalists get so many pitches a day. And you're in a sea of other PR agencies emailing them. So like a
Yes.
pitchy subject line that is just to the point of what you're communicating about, just the pertinent information, and trying to throw a sharp dart. We want to make sure that our pitches are landing in a way that makes sense to their audience.
Okay. So with offices in LA, New York, and London, wow. How do you manage the global aspects of your business?
So pre-pandemic, I was constantly on a plane, just darting around the world, tending to business. And then obviously COVID happened and everyone shuttered or incubated for a period of
Mhm.
time. And it kind of changed our structure a little bit. So when everyone was kind of working from home, I just said to my team, look, if you are happier working from home and it's easier to navigate your family or whatever the reason is, I'm like, I'm cool with you staying where you are. You're welcome to come to the office. There are times you're going to have to come to the office or if we are doing an event, but we've just implemented extreme flexibility, which I think you just have to evolve as a business. Um, so I feel like the travel is now very much on like an ads need to basis versus I was just constantly sort of planning I'll be here, here, and here and rotating. So that's definitely shifted to kind of be a more work-life balance approach.
Oh, yes, COVID definitely shifted the world
Yeah,
in every single industry. So
truly.
every industry.
But in
So
reality, had a bit of a moment in COVID, not makeup and color, like that category obviously struggled because no one was really going out, but skincare, self-care, taking care of your health. We
oh
had
yeah.
brands that came to us during that time and were like, we are doing better than ever because, inadvertently they had an offering that was tailored to what was going on. So some of our clients we were busier than ever with. So that was a very interesting moment as
Oh, yeah.
well.
Definitely love that. So, what are some of the challenges? Let's say the biggest challenges that you've seen in fashion, beauty, and lifestyle PR and that landscape over let's say, the past 10 years?
I would say that so we traditionally really pride ourselves on editorial media. So that's quote unquote earned. So we're dialoguing with editors in a way to get our clients featured in a way that doesn't come with an advertorial price tag, because a publication obviously has to balance them things. Their readers and consumers of the publication don't just want a Rolodex of ads, they actually want content. So that's where we as PR come in, and we can spark ideas for that content. And it saves our clients a considerable amount of money, because ad versus edit, we know what works out better for the purse strings for a brand.
Absolutely.
But I would say, like, now, if you're dealing with more sort of product-led pitching, the affiliate game has changed everything. So for example, if I have a client with a red lipstick, which traditionally just would have been featured on the merit of it being a great red lipstick, now editors have KPIs for affiliate commissions. So if I'll give a hypothetical example, you're reading Glamour's top 10 red lipsticks for fall, and I click on a lipstick and it sends me to Amazon, and then I add my cat litter to cart, and I just end up putting $500 in my cart. That publication is getting a commission on the entire purchase, not just the lipsticks that sent them there. So then they're reverse engineering how they're doing their stories to be like, okay, I really did like that brand, but this one might make us some more money. So it's muddied the waters. And it's through no fault of the editors we deal with. It's just the nature of the beast. But that is our biggest challenge, because indie brands or brands that can't compete with these legacy brands but might have a better product have this incredible hurdle now. So that's probably the biggest challenge, I'd say.
Yes, and the way technology changes daily, it's
Yeah.
like, wow, keeping up with those trends.
Yes.
So, speaking of the trends, how do you stay ahead of trends in the fast-paced world of all of this?
I rely on the young'uns.
The Gen Zs.
Yeah, I'm like, tell me what's cool, and I'll take your word for it. You know what? I love TikTok. I feel like, it's kind of the new search engine, isn't it? Like, I don't post anything on TikTok personally, but I consume it for that perspective. Like, I want to know what people are talking about, what's trending, what's hip. And yeah, I think
I
that's it.
just got on TikTok. Like, I struggled. I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm doing it. I was like, yep, I'm here.
I know. Like, I don't have the bandwidth to post on a million different platforms for my
It's a
personal
lot.
like, but it is really helpful as a resource. And we also use it for pitching, because anytime there's a viral TikTok moment, that leads back to that affiliate point I was talking about, where that money generator. So everything kind of intertwines. It's a funny old right now.
So TikTok is good. Keep telling myself that.
We'll get on board.
Yes. So what advice would you give to aspiring publicists or even entrepreneurs in the PR industry?
I would say experience is key. So and also your attitude. So when I'm looking at resumes and I'm vetting who could be a good publisher on an entry level, if you're kind of looking to break into PR, I can teach you the skill set. I can't teach you not to be an asshole. So I lead with personality, and actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I put it on any of our like Indeeds or something. Like, we have a head rule. Like, if you are gonna be, not nice or not kind, our overarching message is PR firm with soul, that we do everything. If it doesn't fit under that statement, we don't want your business. We don't want to hire you. Like, we have to lead with integrity. So I would say to anyone looking to break into it, check your attitude, lead with humbleness. It's PR, not ER. We are not saving lives. Let's have some perspective.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a great industry. We're very privileged to work in it. And I think when you get to a higher level, I see that more and more. Like, I get to be creative every day. I get to work with great brands. It's a luxury to work in this industry. So perspective, work hard, show your tenacity, and intern. I mean, and I know that's very hard when, like, traditionally in New York, the people that would do the Condé Nast internships are trust fund babies. Don't want to generalize, but more
Mhm.
often than not, because they're
Yes.
either poorly paid and
Hmm.
it's an expensive city to live in. So I wouldn't prejudice someone against, I couldn't get an internship at here, but like, what
Yeah.
else did you do that shows me you've got some grit? So that's the kind of thing I look
Mhm.
for.
Okay. I like that. And I like the word grit. That's like the word of the year.
Right.
All right. So, how do you ensure that your team deliver content and features that meet your clients' needs while staying on budget and schedule? Because we all know, well, those who don't know, PR can be a little high up there when it comes to cost. So, how do you kind of navigate that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think a lot of it is kind of reverse engineering it. So we'll
Mhm.
always ask a client, what is your budget? For example, if they wanted to host a press event around a new launch, some clients have great budgets, some
Mhm.
are more nimble with their budgets. So
Mhm.
just have to get more creative. Like, for example, we had a client around Mother's Day that wanted to do some type of activation. So we transformed our office into a photo studio. We
Mhm.
negotiated glam partnerships and we did makeovers on mums that really deserved it. And we had a professional photographer shoot mum and their kid or mum or their fur
Oh,
baby or with their mum or mother figure.
mhm.
And we did it with editors, and it was a great long-serving moment. Like, we got coverage from it yesterday,
Oh,
and we
wow.
consistent
Mhm.
coverage. And
Mhm.
my client spent $200 because we hustled for partnerships. So all of the photographer and the glam were happy to do it because they wanted
Mhm.
the exposure to the press. So they found
Mhm.
it mutually beneficial, and they
Oh,
just had to
wow.
cover catering. So that was an example of us being very, very thrifty. And others, I've got a
Yeah.
budget right now for 200K for another client.
Oh,
So
wow.
it really does vary.
Yes, it does. Okay. So, last question.
Yeah.
Looking back at your career from journalism to owning your successful PR agency, what has been your biggest lesson or takeaway?
So in 2017, I was pregnant and I kind of got catapulted into solo motherhood unplanned.
Mhm.
And I had this big kind of moment like, oh God, what is going to happen? Like, I'm on my own here and I've got to navigate running a company and a baby on my own and all my family on the other side of the world. Like, I was really
Wow.
like, oh my God, what's going to happen? But that was a real, like, I can either sink or rise like a phoenix moment. And I had my
Mhm.
biggest growth year ever when I had my son.
Mhm.
And it really, like looking back, I felt like that was a real pivotal moment in the kind of evolution of Morgan Publicity, where,
Mhm.
you know what, it's not how hard you work, it's like the working smarter. So,
Absolutely. Yes.
it kind of made me think I don't just have to be chained to my laptop from 9 to 5. I can
Mhm.
be more efficient in lots of different remedies and methods
Mhm.
and still get a great result and delegate a bit more
Mhm.
and be truthful with my clients. I told my clients what was going on and I was like, "You wanna leave, you can leave, but this is my situation." And they were like, "No, we're staying with you." So I think having it gave me, like, a good reminder to have faith in yourself and that life can throw you a curveball, but nothing you can't handle. And actually, since that moment, year on year on year, we've had really good growth. So I think good fortune comes in many guises. I think that's what I learned.
It does. It does. It does. And you deserve it all. Like I said, just interacting with you over the years and your heart is golden from the gifts you send, the flowers. I'm like, oh my God. They always come at the perfect time. And
Oh,
I believe that people who take care of people will always get taken care of in the end. So you deserve it all.
thank you. And likewise. And I love what you've just said. I think you don't have to be that like devil wears Prada, like prickly
Right.
person to get ahead. Like you can just lead with kindness. And I think that's what
Absolutely.
we try to do that.
Kind of take you a long way. I tell my students that, I tell my friends, family, just be kind.
Yeah. And
And
you don't know
it
what
goes a
people
long
are
way.
battling ever, you
Never
know.
know. Never know.
So just don't lead with the aggression, which I think a lot of people
Hmm.
default
That's
resolution
true.
point to be. So yeah, I think we come from the same cloth.
Yes. Well, do you want to give everyone your social media? How can they contact Morgan Publicity? If they want to hire Morgan Publicity, this is your time.
Oh, thank you. Well, for sure. We are at Morgan Publicity, probably more active on Instagram. TikTok, I'm an observer. um, and then info at Morgan Publicity is our email where, everyone can kind of in the firm, someone will get back to you. I'm Kate at Morgan Publicity if you had a question directly for me. And yeah, I always just love it when people pop in and say hi, or just don't be a stranger. We love to connect with people.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you.